Welcome back to the matrix of critical thinking. So today, in this explainer, we're going to look at something you've probably been told your entire life, especially when you're in a high-pressure situation. You know the drill, right? You're in a heated debate, your heart is racing, your chest tightens up, and your mind is just scrambling. And what does everybody tell you? They say, hey, just stay calm. But look, I'm here to tell you that forcing yourself to stay calm during a debate is actually a toxic trap. Seriously, it is completely counterproductive. Okay, let's dive into this. That universal advice of never let them see you sweat, I mean, we've all internalized it, right? But what if that exact effort is the very thing destroying your critical thinking? What if putting on that fake stoic poker face is actually giving manipulators a free pass to win the argument? We are pulling a massive counterintuitive pivot today. By the end of this explainer, you're going to see exactly how your own brain might be completely betraying your logic.
All right, Section 1, the problem, the illusion of calm.
To really grasp what's going wrong here, we have to look at the brilliant analytical psychology of Carl Jung. Because the absolute biggest lie in modern communication is this idea that calmness equals the absence of emotion. We tell ourselves that forcing a fake poker face, smiling while your eye is literally twitching, is calm, but actually, that is just suppression. We aren't eliminating our anxiety or our anger, we're just taking all those intense feelings, shoving them into a dark mental cabinet and slamming the door shut. We slap on a tight smile, tell ourselves I'm totally fine just so we don't look weak. But forcing it doesn't make the emotion magically disappear. It just forces it deeper until it pressurizes and eventually it explodes.
Think of it like this. Imagine taking this massive glowing red ball and desperately trying to hold it underwater. Your arms are shaking and you are using literally all of your mental energy just to keep the thing submerged. Well, if your brain is entirely occupied playing security guard to hide those emotions, where does your critical thinking go? It vanishes. You have zero mental RAM left to actually construct a logical argument. True calm doesn't mean you're some emotionless robot. It means your emotions actually have a place to exist in your mind without completely taking over the driver's seat.
Okay, be honest with me for a second. Really think about this. Have you ever spent, 20 minutes just biting your tongue to stay calm during a really frustrating argument, only to completely lose your mind and explode over someone chewing too loudly a few hours later? Yeah, we've all been there. It's incredibly common to confuse the act of swallowing our feelings with actual emotional control. But trust me, they are absolutely not the same thing.
Moving on to Section 2, the agitation, the grand piano, and the shadow. So now that we know fake calm is just suppression, why is it so lethal to your reasoning when the pressure is on? Well, Carl Jung brilliantly illustrates the why using a grand piano metaphor. It's like this. Imagine a grand piano sitting perfectly still in a totally quiet room. Nobody's touching the keys, but suddenly, someone slams a heavy door nearby. What happens? The strings inside that piano vibrate and produce a sound. When you're in a disagreement and your opponent says something that triggers you, they are just slamming a door. That extreme internal stress you feel, that's your unconscious mind vibrating. It's echoing old wounds, past experiences, and unresolved fears that honestly rarely even belong to the present moment.
And here's the danger. If you forcefully ignore that internal vibration just to keep up your fake calm, your conscious ego starts to lose its stability. And when the ego slips, the shadow steps right in. This is a hidden psychological force made entirely of your unacknowledged motives. It's that desperate need to be right, a hidden fear of losing power, or maybe a craving for recognition. If you just ignore your emotions, the shadow happily takes the wheel of your mind.
Which brings us to a frankly terrifying reality. Calm does not equal rational. When the shadow is driving your argument, you won't actually feel irrational. In fact, you'll feel incredibly logical. But it is a complete trap. You're going to build an entire flawless system of reasoning, but it will be entirely subjective. Your logic becomes completely separated from objective truth, built for one purpose only, to defend your fragile image.
Let me give you a bit of a cynical reality check here. Think about the most irrational, heavily puppeted debaters you've ever seen. Maybe like a TV pundit. Are they screaming? Rarely. Usually they sound totally robotic, completely calm, and horrifyingly condescending. So ask yourself, are they actually being logical, or is this just a massive defense mechanism? Look, if an argument doesn't allow itself to be questioned because it's wrapped in this thick veneer of robotic calm, it's not logic. The shadow is in control.
All right, Section 3, the solution, the inner observation framework.
So if forcing calmness is this toxic trap, and we know we can't forcefully subdue our unconscious mind, we obviously need a new method for surviving these difficult conversations. Luckily, Carl Jung provides an incredible toolkit to achieve genuine, unshakable composure. It comes down to 3 actionable steps. First, treating emotion as a signal. Second, asking the vital question, who is thinking? And third, creating the space. Let's break these down.
Step 1. Read the signal. You literally have to stop treating your rising anxiety or anger like it's some kind of malfunction that needs to be silenced. Emotion is the language of the unconscious mind. I want you to think of it like a warning light on your car's dashboard. When your check engine light comes on, you don't grab a piece of black duct tape and cover it up so you can pretend the car is fine, right? You read it, you acknowledge it.
Next up is step 2. When you feel your chest tighten and your brain is rushing to form some defensive counterargument, you absolutely must pause. Do not ask, how do I win this? Instead, ask, who is thinking in me right now? Like actually stop and wonder, are you the rational ego, genuinely searching for the objective truth? Or are you the shadow, frantically trying to protect your social mask, your persona, from looking foolish?
And finally, step 3, create the space. Remember that giant glowing red ball we were trying to push underwater earlier? True calm happens when you finally let that emotion float on the surface of the water. You aren't pushing it away, but you aren't becoming it either. By simply observing your reactions instead of identifying with them, you stop wasting all your mental energy playing security guard. And the best part? When you do that, your critical thinking naturally returns, completely unhijacked.
I want you to really lean in for this one, because this is your ultimate psychological cheat code for high-pressure arguments. The next time someone triggers you, do not put on the fake mask. Just look at them and say exactly this. What you just said triggered a strong reaction in me. Give me a second to process why before I respond. Just watch what happens. Their manipulative strategies will instantly collapse in the face of your radical, unshakable self-awareness. You take literally all the power back just by owning your reaction.
Bringing us to our conclusion, achieving true calm.
We need to completely redefine what mastery in a debate actually looks like. Because clearly that whole industry myth that calm equals the absence of emotion isn't just wrong, it's actively harming your ability to communicate effectively. A master debater isn't a robot who never gets angry, confused, or threatened. A master debater is someone who is simply no longer surprised by their own reactions. Intelligent thinking isn't about rapid-fire, purely robotic logic. It's the natural consequence of an organized mind, a psyche without an inner war, where you no longer let your hidden complexes do your thinking for you.
So I'll leave you with this final kind of provocative thought. Will you continue to fake your calm, just letting your hidden shadow control all your arguments? Or will you do the hard work and actually conquer your own mind first? Look, the choice is entirely yours. If you want to keep decoding the matrix of critical thinking and really master these psychological frameworks with us, make sure to subscribe. We're here to help you truly understand the source material that shapes the way we all think and argue. Until next time, stay sharp and please stop faking your calm.